Well, it's higher than it was yesterday, but it's still got a long ways to go before I've seen it almost up to our feet. I'll come back down tomorrow and look at it, but it is shooting straight up. It's at 77,700 cubic feet a second at Gold Bar. We're going to go out that way and look at it too. Big old log going down the river. Fire department was here yesterday. When it gets up to there, that's a good one. Definitely not doing any fishing in this thing for a while. Shit, even under the bridge you get wet from the wind. It's creeping up there. When it gets into that parking lot, that's a good flood. So it's still got 3 more feet. You can see here, it's way up. Well, we'll go upriver and look at it some more. See what it looks like. Wonder if there's any steelhead right next to that rock. This is standing at the boat ramp, and it's almost at the top. You can see that's where it was at one time. It will be by the 6 o'clock tonight. There's a lot of shit floating down, logs and trees and everything. I mean, a lot of shit. So the river's definitely changing upriver now. I have no idea what it's going to look like. We'll go look at it when it drops down and see what it looks like. A lot of good firewood. That would burn well. And it's moving. On the 1990 flood, you could come right down here and catch salmon right at the boat launch because it was in November. This year's a little different. We got lucky that there's no snow in the mountains this year, because if there would have been 4 feet of snow, this thing would have been all the way in the parking lot by now. That's going to be our saving grace, is there's no snow. Something I saw said that the top of Mount Rainier is going to get 100 inches of snow out of this storm. All that shit floating down the river. Holy crap, what is it? Is that a log? Oh yeah, that's somebody's property. That's a cattle thing for water for cattle. Yep. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Don't see that every day. You go down to EB Slough, you can have that too. They already said there's kayaks down there. Maybe we're going to go upriver and look. Well, the hatchery's completely underwater. You can't even see the top of the bridge on the other side. I don't think there are fish in there. Look, there's still fish rolling. There's still fish in there rolling. I saw 2 of them move. May Creek, I've never seen May Creek this high before, ever. It's just about ready to go around it. Look at this. It's going over the top of the hatchery completely. And there's fish in there still, moving. Look at that. Wow, that's insane. I've never seen it like this before. This is cool. And it's still going up, but there's still fish out there moving. We've seen 2 move.
I've got one right here.
Well, yeah, they're in the parking lot now. That's insane. But you get part of the hatch, the intake, you can't even see it. That's what's really crazy. You can't even see the intake. The river's level with it. That is just crazy. And there's just the very top of the something sticking out. I don't know if that's part of the hatchery or not. But we do see it's 2 fish porpoise right in there. That was cool. But yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I can see that. It's all the way up to the corner of the building now. Look at that. Normally there's a walk bridge across here and it's probably 2 feet, 3 feet underwater. Never seen May Creek this high ever. That is just crazy. And to see 2 fish porpoise in here, that's even funnier. Wow. That is insane. When you look down there and look at May Creek, it's just insane. Well, we're going to go wander back and look at the Wallace in a second, so we'll turn this back on then. Look, there's fish in the holding ponds and they're filled almost to the top. Look at that. I think he's a little upset. That is just insane. There's so much water in the hatchery right now. This is the Wallace back here, and I've never seen the Wallace this high before.
There is something in front over there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now the intake is completely underwater. Look at that. That is just insane. You normally walk down 10 feet, 15 feet to the river, and now the river's right up to our feet. And the gate that's there is gone. I don't know where it went. They must have took it out, or it took itself out. Oh, there's the gate up there. They did take it out. Hey, there's a corky right there. Normally you walk out there, stand there. Little birds. This is just insane. The amount of water that's going through by this hatchery right now. I have never seen the Wallace that high before. I have friends of mine that live on the Wallace. They're definitely not fishing back here. Look at that. That is just crazy. So much water moving back here. Duck's trying to find someplace to land. Good luck with that one, guys. Wow. Now holding ponds back here of the hatchery. There's fish in here because we've seen them splashing around. But as you can see, it's filled to the top. In fact, it's over the top if you look here. It's over the wall. That is just insane. It looks like they're back here clipping fish to get them out of the hatchery. So they don't lose them. That's crazy. That's a lot of water. I mean, it's all the way up to the walkway. Look at this. That's a Wallace out there. That's insane. It's over the filters and everything. Look at that. And you can see how much mud's in the water. Well, it comes up another couple of feet and they're going to have some serious problems at the hatchery this year. The lady we talked to earlier said the fish don't like this. I bet they don't. They're probably working their butts off trying to save what they can. Let's go see if there's any chums left. They probably already spawned them out. Look at that, over the top of the grate. Never seen that before, ever. That's just crazy. Now that tank is definitely not being used. They probably already run the chums. Yeah, they've already run them. No more chums. They didn't get shit this year. Sad. Well, we'll go look to see what they're doing with the salmon and see if there's anything left of them. I'm just standing on the bridge at the hatchery in May Creek. There's the hatchery. You look right here. Water is only about 2 inches from the bottom of the bridge. That is just insane. That's right up to the back of the pump house. Look at that. Here, fire trucks and stuff. Who knows what happened? But it looks like they're trying to do what they can up here to save our fish. And Wallace River on Reese Road. Figured we'd come up here and see what it looks like. Damn. Yeah, that's where the homeless people live. Or they used to. Doesn't look very fishable today. That's the lady that lives at the end of the road. Look at that log going down. That is impressive. Not currently pouring rain, but it will be. That poor tree is taking a beating. That lady's property's underwater. Wow. Guy coming out to look through the Wallace River. I don't know how long he's lived here, but this is impressive. Wind's kicking up. That is impressive. And we'll go down river and look at the Sultan. We got sandbags. We're in the town of Sultan. And it's getting all flooded out down here. The whole end of town is flooded now. So.
You got it all flooded over there?
Yeah, it's all getting flooded. There's the news people doing interviews. We'll videotape the news people. But it always floods down here. Gonna get a lot worse before it gets better. Oops. Now you can see Sultan's all flooding out. Well, we came back down to the boat ramp and you can see the water's come up 3 feet since we left, and it's only been a couple hours. I see giant logs floating down the river now. Almost to where it was. Another foot and it'll be back where it was. It's almost back where it was. The parking lot should start flooding out pretty soon.
I found out the water.
Got a cheap pen floating in the water. We haven't seen anything good floating down the river, just logs, and a lot of them. A lot of debris. You see those logs that came down? Those were huge. And you can see how high they're floating in the water. They've been dry for a long time. Now it'll be interesting to go see what the river looks like after all this comes back down. Especially along the Ben Howard, if it's still there. Well, I'm glad it happened after fishing season ended. Who knows, when the river comes down, the steelhead should start pouring in here then.